That is not how I paste on Windows. Alrighty. So this is Codepunkt. Codepunkt. Let's see, what is this? Yarn. Cool. Hey, how's it going? I assume that's you, Christoph? Cool, cool. Okay, so let's bring up the repo too. So the issue here is that the Gatsby config has copy linked files. Okay. Okay. Especially in the React, there's a local image at the top right. Okay, so let's get this up and running and I'll take a look at that page. Oop. Okay, so Gatsby remark copy linked files. All files will be copied to the root of the public directory. Provide a path relative to the public directory. The path must be within the public directory, so path to dir is fine, but /dir is not. Okay. Just refreshing my knowledge of copy linked files and how it works. So my guess is my awesome PDF here is right next to the, okay, it's right next to the markdown file. So there's file node matching is my guess, or file node path matching. Since you're using markdown files already, I'm going to assume that you already have a source file system on that directory that you care about. So like if this page is in source pages blog, like whatever.md, I assume that the image is source pages blog thing.image or thing.png. Cool, cool. View all articles. Hey Spencer, how's it going? Okay. First blog post, that blog post. That looks like front matter. Older posts. So this one here, or React as a UI runtime is the one that you were mentioning. That is a actual UTF character, so right up top there's an image missing. Okay, here. And this is /react.png, which I believe is a valid file for this purpose. There is no ignore file extensions here. There's no options at all, and I don't think PNGs are ignored by default. But I guess it's possible that they could be. So let's just check that quickly. Ha! PNGs are ignored by default. So I'm just going to change that right now and see if that fixes it. If I can figure out how to work VS Code. Now I'm trying to use VS Code for streaming, but like all of the pop-ups and stuff seem just as confusing as using like Emacs. So I'm not sure. I need to put some time into actually dealing with this. So let's just say that this ignore file extensions is going to be an empty array. So let's just enable everything. Let's just rim wrap the cache in public for kicks. Restart. And there's your image. So that's the issue. You just need to set the default ignore file extensions option. So it looks like that. Why did prettier not run on that? That's weird. Oh, there we go. It seems to work without that option in overacted.io. I wonder if he's using something else. Can you, so was that a copy of a post from his blog that you were testing? So I can just go in here and find wherever he keeps his blog posts, which I am failing at finding for some reason. Does he write them in Pages? I guess he does write them in Pages. Blah, 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 blah. React is a UI runtime. Bunch of translations. Index.md. Look at the raw. And here it has an image tag. And you had in here... I actually didn't open that, so let's go find it. Is that in Pages or is that in somewhere else for you? Okay. Same thing, index.mdx. I assume this is the exact same, but I'm just checking to make sure. /react.png. Okay. Let's look at his Gatsby config, file system source, Gatsby transformer remark, because he's not using MDX. Copy linked files. Auto link headers, smarty pants, external links, sharp. Helmet manifest, I18N. Do you have Gatsby remark images in yours? I assume you do. Yeah, it's interesting that it looks like he doesn't actually have that config. I wonder... Oh, so you don't have Gatsby remark images. So I always forget about the full functionality of this particular plugin, but so Gatsby remark images is what I'm guessing is responsible for that working for him and not for you. Because Gatsby remark images supports PNG and JPEG, but copy linked files ignores PNG and JPEG, assuming that you're going to use Gatsby remark images for those. So that's why it wasn't working, because he has this, which handles it for him in his markdown. You didn't use this because you were trying to do it incrementally. Gatsby remark copy linked files ignores these two. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I don't really have anything else left to stream. If either of you two has questions. Otherwise, I'll just kill the stream because that was yeah. Twitch. Yeah, sure. Happy to answer whatever you got. In order to see console logs when debugging this stuff, where do you put the console logs? Is what I'm assuming you're going to ask. So it depends. If you are logging something out in a lifecycle that is on create node, do you have a Gatsby node in here that you've started already? So if you're logging stuff out here, on create node stuff usually gets cached, which means that you have to remove the cache for it to rerun. But in other life cycles, it's not necessarily cached. Like if you put something in create pages, I believe that will always run. So it depends. Plugin-mdx.js inside of node. So let's go look at. Yeah, my guess is that because Gatsby remark copy linked files is a plugin that runs when gatsby-mdx runs, and gatsby-mdx does that processing depending on where you're thinking about it. If you're using source pages, so it runs through a webpack loader, and that result probably gets cached. So I don't remember exactly where that caching logic would be, but usually if you are dealing with the creation of nodes or the creation of like pages and stuff, and you want to do it fresh, you want to delete the cache whenever you're debugging stuff. And like I said, the most glaring example of that is if you put a log in on create node, it might not run. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, if you, yeah, custom webpack plugins to the Gatsby build process. Yes, you can. I don't remember if I have one on my own blog, but I'm going to go check. Just show an example. www Gatsby node webpack. So there's this on create webpack config. And in on create webpack config, do you have like a webpack plugin that checks licenses or something? In on create webpack config, there's a couple life cycles that you can use, or there's a couple actions that you can use. So there's set webpack config, which will just let you put whatever you want in there. Oh, that's dope. And this is probably what you're going to do, I think. There's another that you can use, which is replace webpack config, but you don't really need to do that if you're just adding plugins. When does the process run? The process for webpack? Webpack runs after Bootstrap, after queries are run, when your site is finally being built. So I think there's a lifecycle graph in the docs these days. Life and times of a Gatsby build. This this area of the documentation is always a little bit lacking because once people get into the deep internals, less people are actually care. So we are looking at I believe this will be the page that will let us know. There's basically a bootstrap sequence and then two other sequences. The bootstrap sequence does a whole bunch of stuff like with the Gatsby config. That's when the themes get pulled in and merged. That runs these life cycles specifically. So pre-bootstrap, source nodes, adds to the resolvable extensions for like TypeScript and MDX and things like that. Runs your create pages, extracts the queries from your application, runs the queries, and those data pages are written out, and then post bootstrap is called. There's a build sequence, which is the Gatsby SSR, and then the client sequence, which is the client bundle build. So Webpack basically runs here after all of the things are bootstrapped and the queries are run, and etc. This should probably say the page data is written out. Dope. Yeah, if you write an article about this, let me know. I'll give it a retweet and stuff. Love to see more of the stuff written down. You as well. I'm gonna kill the stream now. Hit me up if you have any more questions.